Israeli military expands its attack in Gaza on Hamas. On Capitol Hill, the House is moving to vote later this week on a standalone $14.5 billion aid package for Israel. Over the weekend, newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson said on Fox that Israel is the, quote, pressing and urgent need. Johnson also believes an Israel-only package will have bipartisan support, but he could be setting up a showdown in the Democrat-controlled Senate. In his primetime speech from the Oval Office earlier this month, President Biden had called for one bill with roughly $105 billion in funding, the majority of it for both Israel and Ukraine, as well as other national security efforts. Joining me is CNN senior political commentator Adam Kinzinger, the former Republican congressman, is also the author of a new book, Renegade, Defending Democracy and Liberty in Our Divided Country, which goes on sale tomorrow. Congratulations on the book. Obviously, you wrote this before October 7th. As you view what's happening there now, I mean, what stands out to you?
I mean, the joy by which Hamas committed the brutality on October 7th stands out. It wasn't like it was a professional military operation that they sadly had to do the violence. They enjoyed it. You know, the fact that Hamas spends all their money building underground networks so that they can move military equipment and not bomb shelters for their civilians.
They've received, I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars from Qatar and other countries.
Right. And now, if you were an actually good governing force, wouldn't you want to build bomb shelters and mark them for your people so that they're protected in an Israeli strike? But instead, they're putting their people out there to be hit. It's just, it's pure evil. It's a sad situation all around. You know, we obviously are sad for the civilians in Gaza as well, but it's sad we're in this moment. Israel has an absolute right to defend itself, and it's not a pretty process. But living in a densely populated area does not give you sanctuary from retaliation when you do what was done on October 7th.
The new speaker, Mike Johnson, wants to separate funding for Israel from funding for Ukraine, and he wants the money for Israel, he says, should come from the IRS.
Right. I mean, this is... First off, it's a really dumb tactical move if what they're wanting to do is have these separate, because there's no way that gets signed into law. If it was a straight aid, maybe. But this is, it's incredible to say that we want to support Israel, aside from the offset, to say we want to support Israel, and then we're going to have a really deep conversation about supporting Ukraine against Russia. Because if you actually look, Russia is supporting Iran, is buying equipment from Iran. Russia just had Hamas over to come and visit. You saw what happened in Russia in terms of swarming this aircraft. This is all related.
It does also show what this new Republican Party is compared to the Republican Party you probably grew up in, and that what you write about in the book is sort of this evolution that you've seen up close of the Republican Party.
Yeah, and it's been amazing to be able to separate myself from being in and seeing the trees in the forest and now seeing the forest, to look and see, wow, there are a lot of signs, and I talk about this in the book, that I didn't see. But this isn't your grandpa's, your dad's, or even your older brother's Republican Party anymore.
Do you still consider yourself a Republican?
So it's a tough question. I do, only in that because I don't want to give up on that fight. I mean, this country needs two healthy parties, a healthy Democratic Party and a healthy Republican. So I'm not going to give up that title. A country needs a good conservative and a good liberal movement at any time in their lives. I still have the title, but I voted Democratic last election cycle. If it's Trump against Joe Biden, I'll vote Democratic this coming one. Because, Anderson, I really believe it's down to one issue on the ballot. And not taxes, not even abortion, nothing. The one issue is, do you believe in democracy or do you believe in authoritarianism? And I think that's the only thing we should be voting on.
Because you see a legitimate slide to authoritarianism if Donald Trump is reelected?
I see, if he's reelected, not a slide, a sprint. Because in January 6th, we saw the guardrails, of democracy held. The car hit the rails, it kept you on the road. That rail can't take two hits. And now they know what they're doing. Now they know where the tricks are in the system. I guarantee you Donald Trump will not put people around him that are loyal to the Constitution and will push back. He'll put, if you interview 100 people, trust me, you're going to find somebody to be Attorney General that simply tells you, I'll do whatever you want, Mr. President. Those guardrails are being ripped out. And that's what I see as what would happen, frankly, if he's reelected.
In the book, you also describe sort of a lot of it's very personal. It's the personal messages that you received after voting to impeach the former president, not just from people in your district, but from family members.
So I had family that sent a certified letter disowning me. They said, I've lost the trust of great men like Sean Hannity, which is funny, but they believe that. They said I was a member of the Devil's Army. We had people that would call and threaten to kill my, at the time, 5-month-old child, or say they wish he would die. You think about that. I had my co-pilot from Iraq, Anderson. It's one of the most, intense bonds you can build. Sure. Who texted me and said he was ashamed to have ever flown with me and served with me. Why? Because I disagreed with his view of Donald Trump. And he didn't like the fact that I was telling him the truth when it's so much more comfortable to believe something else. So I talk about in the book, I hopefully mince no words in saying I bear some responsibility for this. And I accept my role in the party to a point. But I also recognize that we're in a really bad place. And until we talk about it, and I think my story kind of encapsulates the slide of the GOP, we're going to have a really sick nation until they get better.
The book is Renegade: Defending Democracy and Liberty in Our Divided Country. Adam, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.